Hey, it's McGuff, and today we're going to be talking about UVB-76. UVB-76 is a shortwave radio located in Russia. Many fans call it the buzzer because of its short buzzing noise. It operates on the frequency 4,625 kilohertz. Why don't you take a listen? It's known for its short buzzing noise, lasting 1.25 seconds with a 1.85 second interval in between each buzz. This allows for 20 to 35 buzzes per minute, and it operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's unknown exactly when it started, but reports started coming in as early as 1976, but widespread reports didn't start until 1982. From 1976 to 1990, the buzzes were 2 seconds long instead of 1 1/4. Then in 1990, it shortened the buzzes to its now famous 1.25 second buzz. Occasionally, the buzz is interrupted by cryptic voice messages, which include 93 882 Nymena 74 14 35 74 and 79 992 Bangu 99 23 77 68 Bronchik 71 17 57 70. From 1976 to 2010, these voice messages were considered rare. But then after 2010, a lot more voice messages were transmitted, which allowed for a lot more to be recorded and analyzed. On June 5th to June 6th, 2010, the station went completely silent. Sometimes, faint conversations can be heard over the buzzing, which indicates that the buzzing isn't created by an internal machine, but a machine placed in front of a microphone. One message that supports this theory was transmitted on November 3rd, 2001, which read, "I am 143, not receiving the generator." Someone then responds with, "That stuff comes from the hardware room." On November 11th, 2010, a phone conversation that lasted about 30 minutes could be heard. It was recorded and uploaded to SoundCloud and was later translated by a Reddit user. In total, there were 3 calls. Here's how they went, more or less. Call number 1. The caller asks for an on-duty officer. The caller then explains to that officer that there's a problem somewhere between Vulcan and Sudak. Call 2. The officer from that call asks for another officer from Vulcan, but they tell them that they're busy. Call 3. A woman responds to the first officer. The first officer complains that nobody picked up the first time. The woman then gets another officer, and they ask something about control calls, then hang up. Then the rest of their transmission is just a whole bunch of control calls which appear to be meaningless. On July 17th, 2015, it broadcasted what appeared to sound like an RTTY signal. On January 24th, 2013, a mysterious order was issued. It said, "Command 135 initiated." It's currently unknown what the official purpose of UVB-76 is, and we're nowhere closer than we were back in 1982. The first location of the UVB-76 transmitter, which was used from 1976 to 2010, was located near Povarovo. Povarovo is about halfway between Zelenograd and Solnechnorogorsk. It's about 40 kilometers, or 25 miles, northwest of Moscow. The original transmission site was abandoned, and the buzzer temporarily turned off. This happened on September 9th, 2010, at 12:35 Greenwich Mean Time. The broadcast returned on September 14, 2010, at 11:16 Greenwich Mean Time. This time period is speculated to be the time period that it moved due to the very long 5-day period in between the transmissions. The transmitters were most likely moved due to a recent reorganization of the Russian military. The 2010 location is still currently unknown, and many people are still trying to triangulate where the signal's coming from. After September 14, 2010, they stopped using the call sign UVB-76 and instead started using a new call sign. This new call sign was MDZHB. In 2011, a group of explorers went to see the old transmission site. During their exploration, they found a logbook from 2005, which was most likely left behind during the movement from one location to another. Interesting fact, starting October 4th, 2005, a dog was posted outside the building and can still be found there to this day. Now, there are 4 possible explanations as to what UVB-76's true purpose is. The first one is that it's controlled by the Russian government or military. The second one is that it's used by Russian spies to contact other Russian spies that are in warfare. The third one is that it's the control center of Russia's dead hand nuclear retaliation system. And 4, it's used as a system to study Earth's ionosphere. The first possibility is that it's controlled by the Russian government or the Russian military. In the conversations, you often hear about officers in their calls, which could be Russian government officers, or maybe military officers. The 2011 explorers found an abandoned military base extremely close to the pre-2010 building, which could be related. The Russian government, like any other large government, is known for many, many cover-ups. I'm looking at you, United States. It started transmitting somewhere between 1976 and 1982, which was during the later years of the Cold War. It temporarily went down during a reorganization of the Russian military. Possibility number 2. It's used by Russian spies to contact other Russian spies that could be spying in other countries. I'm looking at you, United States. This would be an example of a numbers station. This is a type of shortwave radio that uses numbers and words to relay information from spy to spy. Although number stations started during World War I, they only became popular during World War II, which was immediately followed by the Cold War, which is around when this started. Number stations operate by first sending out a call sign, kind of like an identifier, such as UVB-76 or MDZHB. This lets the spies in foreign nations know that it's the correct number station. Then they send out a coded message that can only be broken if you have a one-time pad. A one-time pad is an encryption technique that uses random numbers to code a message. First, you need the message you're going to encrypt. Second, then you use the numbers on the one-time pad to shift from one letter to another letter. Thirdly, you send out the encrypted message via number station. And fourth, you use the same one-time pad to decrypt the message if you are said foreign spy. UVB-76 might do this, but instead of sending physical letters, they might send them over shortwave. Here's why. Physical letters can be stolen, whereas airwaves can't, or at least they're harder to take down. Physical letters can take days to reach their intended target, whereas radio waves are almost instantaneous. UVB-76 is also almost exactly formatted like any other number station. First, there's the call sign, UVB-76 or NDZHB. After that, it's a string of numbers and letters. Possibility 3. It's used as the control center of Russia's dead hand nuclear retaliation system. Although this is very unlikely for a few reasons. Reason number 1, although the dead hand system has been confirmed to be operational during the Cold War era, it's unsure whether it even exists to this day. The dead hand system is a way for Russia to send nuclear bombs to another country. I'm looking at you, United States, in case the government is destroyed and simply cannot retaliate themselves. Reason number 2. The pre-2010 location was too far away from Moscow to take any major or even minor damage. Even when calculating with the largest US bomb ever, Castle Bravo, or currently in their arsenal, B-83. Reason number 3, the post-2010 location is speculated to be even farther away from the pre-2010 location. And possibility number 4, it's used as a system to conduct research about the Earth's ionosphere. S.V. Asimov, A. Shuliat, and E.M. Dmitriev are 3 scientists that study the Earth's ionosphere. They're studying it by sending out a signal that operates on 4,625 kilohertz. But if this is the case, why has it been running for so long? And why would they just suddenly tell us in 2008? So, what do you think? Is it a radio station owned by the Russian government or military? Is it a way for spies halfway across the globe to communicate? Is it a control center for a nuclear program? Or maybe it's something a lot less cryptic, like an atmospheric research program. Or maybe it's a way for the Russians to brainwash us. Nah. So, leave what you think it is in the comments down below, and I will see you